Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners. Award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com.
Listen to Dr. Pat, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on CRN.
Welcome to Divine Love Talk with Dr. Parthenia Grant, where we talk about health, well-being, and the love of the divine that exists in all of us. Now, here's your host, Dr. Parthenia Grant.
All right. I'm so excited to be back this week and every week at CRN Studios, where we get to talk about topics that I think are so important for our spiritual growth and our health, physical health and mental and emotional wellness. And I'm so blessed to have joining me, as always, my co-host Kim Michaels via Skype. Kim, are you there? Okay, he is there. He'll be with us. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here now.
All right, Kim, welcome. Later, Kim is going to be giving us our weekly message from the Ascended Masters. Oh my goodness. Okay, and we have back in studio Jose Munoz, who is the Mayan timekeeper. And you're also the historian. What's the word for that, for the Mayan? You keep the history of the Mayan people.
You actually said it.
Okay.
It's called the Word.
Oh, the Word. Yeah. Yes, he's the keeper of the Word, and
from the years 1444 to the years 1529, and that includes the history of the world and the galaxies as we knew it back then.
Okay. I definitely want to get into that at some point. But today, Jose and Kim Michaels and I are going to be talking to you guys about how we can move out of duality without being in denial. I think this is an incredibly important topic because there's so many people that I run into in the metaphysical New Age community who believe that if you talk about the fact that darkness exists, that you're actually feeding the darkness, and that you should be in this place of denial about the darkness. So, Jose, would you first start out? We're going to go into that after he gives us the glyph for today, according to the Mayan calendar, and then we're going to go right into the topic of moving out of duality without being in denial.
Excellent. What we have here is this is the symbol of today's energy, and we call this one Toch, which in one of the Mayan languages it means the sun. It means the sacred fire, and it's a perfect sample of what's going on in the world today. We really need to go through the fires that we can see physically, but we can also see spiritually, where everything needs to be burned to restart anew. And we're going through that transitional period for the last since 2012. So in today's energy, we pray and we are grateful for the fire, as the fire is a representation of the sun here on earth, and as that representation of our most ancestor, that fire has the authority to burn everything and make everything new. And that includes, of course, that duality.
Okay, I like that. So you also called it the new sun. What was the significance of that?
The significance of that is because every 26,000 years we go through a period that we call the suns.
Okay.
So this is the sixth time around that we have counted 26,000 years.
Okay, wonderful. So we've moved into the new sun, and so it's appropriate that at this point we should look at the whole issue of duality. We're, the planet that we're on is a planet of duality. We have free will on this planet, and so we can choose to actually dance with the darkness or play with the light, and that's an aspect of free will that it tends to be a double-edged sword, but it does exist. What's your take on that, Jose?
Well, it gives us an opportunity to take a look inside of us, and since we're all reflections of each other, we still have to honor that darkness that we all have in us still. Now, again, we are in that transitional period of co-creating the new world, and that is where the good news come in for humanity as a whole, is duality will be extinct pretty soon, within the next 400 years. Mm-hmm. And actually, if we do everything correctly, we can start talking about completely extinct duality by the year 2020.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And I want to be... but this is the first time that this is the new symbol of the new calendar. One of the 5 symbols that the Tibetan, Hopi, and Maya wisdoms have produced, where you can see there is no more duality.
Oh, there's no darkness on the yin yang.
Yes,
it's light on both sides. And
this symbol, as we know, come from the ancient traditions and teachings of the Tibetan and Chinese ancestors.
Okay.
So in the calendars, this is what we're walking into, but yes, we still need to talk and act about that darkness that we all see in this world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wish that we were at that place already where, we weren't having to deal with the darkness around us. If you look in the world, the war, the poverty, the oppression, it's there. And you also see it in relationships with people, where they're controlling each other, telling people, what to do, and it's their way or the highway, that kind of thing, which, in my opinion, is a reflection of the darkness that's in that individual.
Well, in the Western society, we have talked about the darkness as something foreign, something that belongs in a third world country, as they used to know them. And we grew up in a bubble here. Most of us that grew up in North America, we grew up in a bubble. We denial. We were in denial.
Big time.
But with the new period of illumination that we enter in 2012, with technology, now you can see instantly how people are cutting heads off across the oceans.
Yes.
So this is something that needs to be recognized that existed, and the call out there to everyone is to recognize this, that we still have these problems, and we need to move from it into the new world.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to get there by saying, oh, we can't talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. Now, Kim, I know you and I talk about this a lot, and so I would like your take on how we can move out of duality without being in denial about it.
Well, as you said, we are in denial about the darkness in many cases because both traditional Christianity and materialistic science can't really teach us about it, and most of the New Age movement won't teach about it because, as you said, they don't want to look at it. And I think you're absolutely right that you just look at history and you see that what has brought society forward is that we have come to a new awareness about a certain issue. And this darkness or evil or whatever we call it is just another issue. But unfortunately, I think partly due to Christianity that gave us this fear of the devil and fear of hell, many people in the New Age movement react to that by saying, if we talk about darkness, we'll have to go into the same fear vibration that the Christians have. We don't want to do that. And so they close their minds to the fact that there is a middle way. And I hear that from Jose also, that it's just a matter of looking at it and deciding whether we want to drag this along anymore.
Yeah, and I also pick up, Kim, from a lot of the people that as soon as you're talking about like world conditions or something, and then if you say, the dark forces or the power elite, or as soon as you acknowledge any of that, of the oppression that's going on, they literally go into a knee-jerk fear-based reaction that's actually their own fear of the darkness, and then they project it, on whoever is talking about it. And I believe that we, can intelligently discuss these things without any fear about it. So, Jose, what's your take on that? My feeling is the only way you feed something is if you're in fear of it. But just discussing something without fear, that's, to me, intelligent. It's an intelligent way of dealing with a problem without being in the problem.
Yes, the way we see it in some of the traditional ways as natives, and I'm going to speak here on behalf of only that Choti Mayan tribe where I come from, is that we see the darkness as an addiction. So just like any addiction in the English words, you first have to recognize it and acknowledge it.
Hello.
And once you do that, then you can work on it.
Okay. So it's important, I think what I'm hearing from you is that we look at our own darkness, and I think we should add to that our fear of it, because if you're not afraid of it, why would you have an issue talking about it?
And that is,
it's like, aren't you giving power to it by saying, I can't talk about it?
Well, you can look at it both ways. You can give it power either way, because the darkness is a reflection of us.
Right.
So if you deny it, you're giving it power. If you acknowledge it, you're giving it power. So that it's not of moving into it, it's become a light from it.
Okay.
So
can you say it in another way?
Yes.
So that
it's too much Zen.
Okay.
Too much Zen.
All right.
So when you look at darkness, to us, it's not negative.
Okay, and that means there's no fear of it,
yes.
Right? And that's what I'm saying, in another way is that I can talk about it because I'm now out of fear of it. I don't have any fear of it. It's just what do we do to move into another place beyond it, or integration with it?
Exactly. So when we look at darkness as just part of us, then you lose that fear.
Exactly.
And when there is no fear, then there is no need for darkness. So in the future, that's where we have come from. Thousands of years, our ancestors, all of our ancestors have been working to bring us to here, to start talking about it and moving out of it.
Exactly, because I don't, you were saying that if you talk about it, you give power to it, but I think what I was saying is that the only way you give power to it is if you're talking about it in a fear-based way, where you're trying to scare someone else about it, or you're afraid of it. But just to discuss something in terms of solving a problem, because you can't talk about the world issues and not talk about the darkness, that's in the world. But if you talk about it from a place of fear where you got to run from it, then that's feeding it. But if we're just discussing it intelligently, I don't believe that that's giving it power. Does that make sense, Jose?
It makes absolute sense. And I have to go back to where we were all living in a bubble before this new awesome communications came into place. Now we can see the darkness in our screens, in our cell phones. Mm-hmm. So the darkness used to be across the oceans, and only because we didn't have this instant communication now. We can see darkness in police brutality. We can see darkness right here, right now. With
our government, surveilling us and literally taking away our, civil liberties.
Yes, and, as we're saying this right now, there is nuclear waste being dumped in a native reservation in Arizona. And this is part, again, if you see it as dark and negative, you're going to be fearful. But if you see it as just a jobs for evolution, then this is what we need to look into.
I agree. Absolutely. So we're going into commercial break, and I want to remind everybody that Kim Michaels is coming up after commercial break with his message from the Ascended Masters, and we will be taking calls. The call-in number is 818-353-1276 after Kim Michaels gives us his message from the Ascended Masters. You're listening to Divine Love Talk on CRN. I am talking with Mayan timekeeper Jose Munoz and Kim Michaels from Transcendence Toolbox. Like us on Facebook at Divine Love Talk.
Manchash.
Yes. And Jose, I'll give how they can get a hold of you after commercial break. Thank you for listening.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right. For you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right. In Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day. And little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy's special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
The founder of Lumber Liquidators has returned and is taking us back to basics so you can get the best selection of quality hardwood at the best price. This week, get clearance deals on pre-finished hardwood starting at $129.
Hand-scraped Tobacco Road acacia for much less than what you'd pay elsewhere.
More from 59 cents and 18 months financing.
Hi, I'm Tom Sullivan. I started Lumber Liquidators over 20 years ago with the basic idea, cutting out the middlemen, just good wood at a good price.
Sales going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Geico applauds your inner happy camper.
A merit badge of awesomeness goes out to the part of you that wants to put the recreation in recreational vehicle. The part of you that packs up everything and everybody in the RV and says, let's get this show on the road. Because Geico has specialized agents who help save money on more than just car insurance. Geico will insure that entire RV, so you can get the s'more making, poison ivy dodging, same song singing, ghost storytelling, campfire building, best time you ever had with your family show on the road.
Geico for your RV. See how much you could save.
Okay, we're back with more of Divine Love Talk, and Kim Michaels, who is going to deliver to us his message from the Ascended Masters for this week. Okay, I'm turning it over to you, Kim Michaels.
I am the Ascended Master, Mother Mary, and I wish to continue the talk I gave last week on love. Do you know, my beloved, that for us who are the Ascended Masters, one of the big problems we have is that people find it very difficult to accept that we do not have any hidden agenda, that there is no catch, that we give our teachings and our love freely. You have heard the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. But is it, my beloved? Is the sun too good to be true? Is not the sun only giving of its light? Does it ask anything in return? Is it then so difficult to accept that there could be spiritual beings who also only give and ask nothing in return? Why do we give? Because we are self-sufficient spiritual beings. We have access to the light of God within ourselves, and we need nothing from you who are in embodiment on earth. We only desire to give to you. What does this have to do with love? Well, if you were to look at planet Earth and ask yourself what is the biggest problem on this planet, I am sure that you could come up with many outer conditions. It may be war, it may be the economy, it may be inequality, it may be many other things that you would think of. But from my perspective, the biggest problem on earth is this: people do not know how to receive love. If more people knew how to truly receive love, then many of the other problems you see on earth would start melting away under the burning sun of love. Why can you not receive love? It is in most cases because certain dark forces have come up with a very subtle plan for making it impossible for most people to receive love. And part of their plan is simply this: they make you believe that you have to receive love from a source outside yourself. And in most cases, that source is another human being of the opposite sex. Look at love relationships on earth and look at how many problems begin right in the home. I can assure you that were it not for the fact that there is a basic conflict between men and women, then war could not exist on a planetary scale. Why is there this basic conflict between men and women? Because neither men nor women know how to receive love. They think they have to get it from each other. And then when they don't get it, they go into a control game of seeking to control the person they live with and whom they supposedly love. But you see, love, true love, does not want to control. That is why I would point out to you that ultimately you can receive love only from a source inside yourself, namely your higher self, your spiritual self. But because of current conditions on earth, this teaching is too advanced for most people. Most people need an intermediary step before they can receive love from their higher selves. And this is where I can offer my assistance through my office of the Divine Mother. Because the love of the Divine Mother is the nurturing love that all people are capable of receiving if they will acknowledge that this love comes from the Divine Mother and that it is not a love they need to earn. There is nothing you need to do to earn my love. As I said last week, I already love you very personally for who you are. And if you will apply to my heart and use my teachings, I will teach you how to receive love directly from me so you do not need to get it from anyone else.
Thank you so much, Kim Michaels and Mother Mary, for that amazingly timely discourse on love. You're listening to Divine Love Talk. That was Kim Michaels. You can check him out at transcendencetoolbox.com. And coming up next, we have Mayan timekeeper Jose Munoz. You can find him at unitylovepeace33@gmail.com. We'll be back with more of Moving Out of Duality Without Being in Denial on Divine Love Talk. I'm your host, Dr. Parthenia Grant.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club. Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Can you believe we're halfway through summer? Live a little without spending a lot. That might come as a shock, but good times are meant to be good times. Ooh, and in awe at Columbo's succulent, delicious steaks. The freshest offerings from the 7 Seas. Italian specialties so outstanding that chefs from Rome and Milan come to Columbo's for training. Let's not forget their world-famous meatballs and join the chorus as another one bites the crust. Another one bites the crust. Yes, another one bites, another one bites, another one bites Columbo's world-famous pizza. Plus jazz every night. Columbo's is Good Time Central without breaking the bank. Columbo's, because it really is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, manja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-351-8614. That's 800-351-8614. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-351-8614.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California. With the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inatlagunabeach.com.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through September 30th, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
The Doug Stephan Good Day program, early morning radio, and I guess it is radio, although it's radio on TV because this is CRN Digital Talk. You can find out what's going on in the world. We talk about the issues of the day, the events of the day, the people that people are talking about. We have an interesting way of looking at the news and having a little fun with the issues. So if you want to have some fun, learn a few things, and get up on the right side of the world, Doug Stephan's Good Day program, weekday mornings, 2 to 7 a.m. on CRN Digital Talk.
All right, we're back with more of Divine Love Talk. And Kim Michaels, thank you so much for that timely discourse on love. Because, you know, when you have love in your heart and love in your life, there really isn't anything to fear. I just, you know, I'm at this point now where I look at life and I don't really see problems. I just see solutions. You know, when something comes up, I just want to, if I can't come up with a way to fix it myself, then I'll ask for help, and the universe sends me who I need. You know, you showed up to help me with the problem, then Jose showed up to help me, and then last week someone else showed up. So I think the universe is all about benevolently loving you, and the ascended masters are always there, and they will give you or send you exactly who you need. Jose, it looks like you were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, again, we are moving into a new world. Mm-hmm. So there are some people that they're either in denial of the darkness and they don't want to talk about, and so they're either there or they're already into the new world, and that's why they refuse to talk about the darkness sometimes.
And that's okay, you know, if you're already there, but at the same time, we're still here on planet Earth in 3D, and we have to deal with the issues that are associated with, you know, third-dimensional reality.
Yeah, and there is 8 billion people on the planet, and
Thank you.
And only what we call the light workers, we don't even make 1% of the population in the human world. So.
Exactly. And you know, if you are already there in the new world, I don't think that you'd be in fear.
You wouldn't.
Yeah. So,
right.
and there would be no reason to react. There'd be no reason to judge. So, that would be all good. Kim, what's your comment on that?
Well, I think you're right. If you are in the new reality, you are not afraid of talking about anything.
Exactly.
Why would you be? It's just another topic. And I think you are right what you said earlier, you know, that there are a lot of New Age people who, because they've never processed the fear from the Christian religion, you know, the fear of the devil, the fear of hell, they have an unrecognized fear of talking about these issues. And I have always had the attitude that if there's something I am uncomfortable talking about, then I know there's something in my psychology that I haven't resolved concerning that issue. And then it's my responsibility to look at that and deal with it.
Exactly, because nobody else can help you with it if you're not even willing to talk about it. Yeah. It's like what you were saying, Jose, if you're an addict, you know, in your culture, you got to at first own it.
Yeah, and it is a very good point that Michael is saying. It comes down to taking responsibility for your own darkness. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, because there's just nothing to be afraid of. I mean, I was terrified of the darkness at one point, and I was giving it power through my fear, and I understood that. And then once I was able to look at it, then I overcame that fear, and I can talk about it now. We have some callers on the line. So let's take Michael Ray. You have a comment? Do we have Michael Ray? Okay, she's coming up. Hello? Well, okay. While we're waiting on Michael Ray's comment, and the other people that are holding on the line, is he there? Okay, not yet. Okay, so Jose has something to say. I see.
Well, the transitional world that we're into, we are at the bridges between the other world where there's still war and there's still nuclear waste being dumped in reservations in the United States. We don't need to go across the oceans anymore.
Hello.
We see it right here in our streets.
Yeah.
When you just walk downtown LA, we see it.
Yeah.
So it's about coming into the new world and transitioning into it, but we need to really save as many as we can.
Yeah.
And facing the fact that we cannot save them all.
Yeah.
And that piece of spirit that we get by knowing that we are, in fact, doing everything we can to bring these wisdoms to people so they can, in return, come with us to the new realities.
Thank you so much for that comment, Jose, because when I see, you know, the pain and the darkness in the world, I want to do whatever I can, you know, to alleviate it. And if we can't talk about it, you know, then, and we're in denial about it, the homeless people out there, the poisoning of the food, the air, and the water, how do we address those issues if we can't talk about the source of the problem?
Exactly.
You know, and the source of the problem is our denial of the darkness and us giving our power away to the darkness. Okay, so do we have Michael Ray on the line? Michael?
Hello.
All right, Michael, welcome back. Jose did a reading last week. How was that?
It was good. I put meditation into action, and it's been a good week. Thank you, Jose.
You're welcome.
All right. So what was the result of that? He told you to get to work on your music.
Yes, he did. So I've got a show this Thursday evening in downtown LA.
Well, where is it? You know I'm going to come out and hear you. That's what I love about you, Michael, is when Michael was in my classes, I could say, well, guys, go pick some fruit in your neighborhood. If you're worried about, how expensive organic fruit is. And Michael would show up the next week with, a basket of fruit that he had picked from his neighbors. I love it. So
you told me to go out dancing, too, and that worked out wonders.
That's right. We did. We learned salsa dancing and swing dancing. Yeah, he's not afraid, to try new things. So, Michael, where are you going to be reading? Very quickly, we'll come out and see you.
Okay, it'll be at ArtShare LA.
ArtShare LA.
And it's at 801 East 4th Place.
And that's Los Angeles, downtown?
That is downtown LA. It's in the Arts District.
ArtShare, wonderful. What time? And I'll be there with bells on.
Doors open at 7:30, and I posted the info on Divine Love Talk.
Hey, all right. Check it out, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Michael Ray. So check him out on Divine Love Talk. We also have Daniel Peterson, our next caller.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Daniel?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like last week, Parthenia gave Jose her birth date and got a take on her mission. I know that standard astrology doesn't seem to work very well for me because I fall in the 5th house of romance, children, creativity. About as romantic as a board. I've had no children and not a creative bone in my body.
Oh, that's not true, Daniel. You're a poet and an amazing poet.
Yeah, well, all right. April 15th, 1944.
April 15th, 1944. So Daniel wants to get a greeting. So Daniel, give him a second here. He's getting your glyph.
Well, my divine plan, as Kim's teachings call it. So we're embodied knowing a divine plan is somewhere in us. So maybe I can get some hints about my mission, my divine plan.
Well, you definitely will, and I have to say that he really helped just sink in what I already knew about my mission. So, Jose, you ready?
I'm ready.
He's ready. Go ahead.
So, being born in 1944.
Okay.
That gives it gives Daniel the ability to see outside the box. You have what we call the eagle vision. We call it that seeking in Mayan languages. So what that can do for you, Daniel, is see everything that you're doing and then fly very high and see it again like the eagle, and then you'll have that many more answers about what to do next.
All right. So he has the eagle vision, and so what is his purpose?
Well, we can see the different ways of purpose. We can see that you have to be of service to your circles. We can see that you can use ceremonials, rituals. I don't know if you do any of those, but it looks very clear to me that you have the wisdoms of the knights.
Here. Let me say something. Yeah, about rituals. I've done an exorcism every day. I say every day for the last 30 years. That's inconsistent in rituals.
All right, then. So he's on a path of service.
Yes, so if you take that service is so much needed in this new transitional world, because as we know, we have been for thousands of years at a spiritual war, and you being one of the light warriors, we can please do more of those, as many as you can, so we can help other brothers and sisters that are right at the border or coming into the light. We can do that with your help and with your eagle vision. Thank you for doing your work.
All right.
Thank God.
Okay. So, thank you, Daniel, for calling in. So do you want to go ahead? Amy sent us an email saying she couldn't call in today because she had to go to the doctor, and she wanted you to do a reading on her baby. She has a little 2-year-old. How are we going to pronounce her name?
Jayla.
Jayla? Okay.
For Jayla, she is already taken care of for the rest of her walk in this planet, because she is what we know as the new citizens of the world. There's purity in the spirit. So she is walking a shining path, being born in 2013. And he has help from the master adapters of this planet, and also help from the star intergalactic seeds that we talk about as aliens, if you will. So she is in full communication with that. She might want to practice asking her questions, what she is coming into this world. And you'll be surprised what she will be able to tell. But I'm more about to say to Amy that she is what we call the primal waters, the Emosh, Hunimosh, or the first waters. And my favorite analogy to you to understand this is if you think of a lake, and then all wisdoms and knowledges come into that lake, then she is that lake.
Wow.
So if she's thinking about studying anything, going back to school for any purpose, just remember that you already know what you're going to study, and you're just going to remember. That's Amy.
Well, she's the one that wants to take the class with you to learn to be a teacher of the Mayan calendar.
I would love her to be in
yeah, she's amazing.
In the class, so I can learn from her.
And her baby, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I have some questions for the baby.
Right? I love these little magical kids that are coming in. They remember who they are. I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
She knows who she is.
Absolutely. So she's all taken care of. She doesn't need a reading from me for sure.
We need to go to her for a reading.
We need to go to her for some consulting.
I love it. Yeah, they're so tapped in. Kim, we're now moving back. That's all we're going to be able to do today in terms of the readings. Thank you, Jose, so much for your generosity in doing that. If you guys want to get a full reading from Jose, you can send him an email at unitylovepeace33@gmail.com. And I tell you, when he did the readings at my place, people came out crying. They just got in touch with their spirit, and you've been such a blessing to me as Kim Michaels. You have been such a blessing in my life, and you still are. So Kim, and let's go back to Mother Mary's dictation. I don't know how much when you're taking those dictations, how much of it you remember, but
a fair bit.
Oh, a fair bit. Okay. And you and I have talked about relationships a lot, and that whole aspect of us not being able, we all say we want love, but we just can't receive love. What do you think that's all about? I mean, can you expound on that? We want love, but we push it away and we run from it.
Yeah, well, as Mother Mary was saying, the dark forces have really tried to drive a wedge between men and women because
they've done a good job.
Yeah, and it ties in with, Mother Mary has given a lot of teachings through me over the last several years. And one of the themes that she has brought out is that everything in the entire universe is created from the two basic forces that you see, for example, in the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. She calls them the expanding force of the father and the contracting force of the mother. And when there was no darkness in the world, the two forces work in complete harmony.
Yes.
And they complement each other. And so there is no contradiction between expanding and contracting when they're balanced.
Yes.
And so what has happened is that after darkness became a choice, and therefore there were dark forces that have tried to lead the innocent astray, they have created these what Jose was talking about is duality, where now all of a sudden they're opposite forces, mm-hmm. and they oppose each other, and that's when you get into thinking that men and women are also opposites.
Yeah.
And this, of course, was reinforced in our time and in our Western tradition by the three monotheistic religions, who are portraying God as exclusively masculine and portraying women as the cause of the fall of man.
Of course.
So putting this enormous burden on women and
blame on women.
Yeah, exactly. And really, I think that if you have grown up in that kind of a patriarchal tradition, and if you have bought it hook, line, and sinker, you can't have a natural relationship between men and women.
Absolutely, and love cannot exist where, you're at odds with each other and at war with each other. You're listening to Divine Love Talk with my in-studio guest, Jose Munoz, who is the daykeeper of the Mayan calendar. You can send him an email at unitylovepeace33@gmail.com, and Kim Michaels at Transcendence Toolbox, and you can like us on Facebook at Divine Love Talk. We'll be back wrapping this up after commercial break. I am your host, Dr. Parthenia Grant. Thank you for joining us.
Let's practice unconditional love.
Absolutely. What a concept.
Your home for great comedy, The Showroom at South Point. Presents Bobby Slayton with Jim Florentine and Lenny Clark. Bobby.
My wife, wasn't it great? She's finally moving out. Now we can have sex anytime we want to. I said, really? Are you moving out too?
No, I don't want to sleep naked. Just had their girlfriends. Can you believe them?
I mean, I did cocaine once for like 9 years, but I only did it to learn the metric system.
Why not? August 21st to the 23rd. Tickets at the box office, online at southpointcasino.com or charge by phone 702-797-8055. 18 or over. The Showroom at South Point presents Sheena Easton in concert. She's still a modern gal, taking that 9 to 5. Baby, takes the morning train. Sheena Easton, August 28th and 29th. Tickets at the box office, online at southpointcasino.com or charge by phone 702-797-8055. Sheena Easton at the South Point.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Oh, CRN listeners, this is Michael Horn, inviting you to join me and my co-host, Sommelier Nicole Nielsen from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, as we present What's Cooking on Wine. Find out about the latest trends in wine, great food, spirits, and a whole lot more. It's What's Cooking on Wine, done live at 6 o'clock Monday nights at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Pasadena, California, and then the replays throughout the weekend right here on CRN. So if you love wine and you love great food, it's What's Cooking on Wine right here on CRN.
Hey, we're back wrapping this up with Divine Love Talk on CRN with Jose Munoz, the daykeeper of the Mayan calendar, and Kim Michaels with a beautiful message for us for today on love from Mother Mary. And it really is all about learning to love yourself. And as Jose said, as we were going into commercial break, we really need more unconditional love for ourselves, right?
Absolutely. Yes, we do. And the definition for us in the Mayan world, unconditional love, is when you just do without expectations.
Exactly.
Because every time you have expectations, you're going to get disappointed. So we'd rather just do it without any expectations.
Of course. I mean, how simple is that? It needs to be done. You know, you see someone in distress. You see someone, you know, in need of a hug. You know, whatever it is, a meal or, you know, help, you just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. So when we do this, when we practice unconditional love with ourselves first, then we practice unconditional love with others. We raise our vibration, and that's how we are helping people. Even just walking in the market, they're looking at you, trying to decipher why is that light or that smile that you carry on you, and why are you so happy? This is when we do without saying a word. We just walk into with our smiles and make people stay just by being in anywhere we are, in any field.
Exactly. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's one of the things that I pay attention to is people's energy and not what they say, you know, because I see a lot of the new agers, they quote, you know, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, and they talk about peace and love and harmony, but they're anything but peace, love, and harmony. And so it's like, okay, can we just shut up and do it, you know, instead of just saying it?
Yes, and we're actually going to have a workshop in San Diego on the 30th.
Okay.
So there's going to be
this month?
This month.
Okay.
Welcoming readings and of course the calendar. And the reason why I wanted to mention it because in the new calendar for the new world, the next 26,000 years, this is exactly what the glyphs or the new energies have been added. We have joy. We have peace, we have purpose and unity, and we also have harmony. And of course, what we showed earlier today, the new balance where there is no duality.
Right.
Now, we understand that when we do these readings, we are helping as many as we can changing their vibrational field so they can come into the new world where there is no fear.
Exactly. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing to help people identify who they are and get on task with their purpose, you know, like get in alignment, you know, with themselves, because I think that that's more important than any other work, you know, that we, you know, are doing at the current moment. And Kim Michaels, thank you so much for being such a clear vessel for the Ascended Masters to deliver these messages to us every week. So in closing, I know you have something to add to our discussion.
Yeah, I want to go back to what Jose was saying about giving, because I think we have been so screwed up in our culture. We think giving is tied to not only an expectation, but an expectation of a certain result, a certain outcome. But when you give unconditionally, you are not risking losing anything, because the giving is its own reward.
Wonderful. And Jose just held up the butterfly of harmony and joy. So we're wishing all of you out there today peace, inner love, harmony, and joy. And look for those butterflies of harmony. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to talk to Jose again, unitylovepeace33@gmail.com to get more information about the workshop that he has coming up. And we have one more week with Jose, right? Next week. So be sure to join us next week, and we'll be wrapping up this discussion of what you can learn from the Mayan calendar with Mayan Daykeeper Jose Munoz. I'm Dr. Parthenia Grant. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you guys back here next week with Kim Michaels and another message from the Ascended Masters. Check him out at Transcendence Toolbox and like us on Divine Love Talk on Facebook.
Unconditional love.
Yes, unconditional love for yourself.
Which is most important because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking